So we're just going to work through these genetic problems. The first problem says for Martians, green is dominant and blue is recessive. So we're crossing a big G, little g with two big G's. So I'm just going to draw my Punnett square. Big G, little g goes across the top. Big G goes down the side. Now all I'm doing is pairing up these first two G's. So the G comes down from the top and the G goes over from the side, and I just pair them up. I do that all 4 times, and that tells me all the 4 possible combinations between those G's. So then I look at the results, which are inside the Punnett square. I have 2 that are homozygous and dominant, 2 that are heterozygous. That gives me a 1-to-1 ratio for their genotypes, the genetics. But it also gives me an all green, like every single one of those offspring are green. For problem number 2, I'm crossing a big T, little t with a big T, little t. So again, I'll just draw my Punnett square, big T, little t across the top, big T, little t down the side, and I just fill it in by moving one of the letters straight down and the other letter straight over. What I do is I always write the capital letters first. That way I know that the dominant trait is present or absent. I can tell right away if it has that thing. So in this case, we've got a 3-to-1. 3 are tall and 1 is short. And for the genotype ratio, I've got 1 that is homozygous. Homo just means the same. Dominant, 2 big T's. I've got 2 that are heterozygous. Hetero just means different, so 1 of each. And then I've got 1 that is homozygous and recessive. For the third one, I'm crossing a big R, little r with a big R, little r. Now you'll notice this is identical to the one we just did. The letters don't matter. They just stand for some trait. R, B, T, D, A. The letter doesn't really matter. It's just a symbol. All I really need to know is I've got 1 dominant, 1 recessive. So this is going to have the exact same results as the one that we just did. All right, so you can refer back to the one we just did in order to see what that outcome should look like. For number 4, we're going to cross 2 heterozygous green Martians. Well, heterozygous is just telling me that I've got a big letter, little letter. And you'll notice that I've already done that twice. Once with tall, and then I just did one with the R's. And now it's the same exact thing here with the G's. They're green. So you can refer back to those to see how that looks. For number 5, I've got a homozygous green Martian. So that's going to be a big G. And I'm going to cross it with a heterozygous green Martian. So that's a big G, little g. So in that case, I draw my Punnett square. Big G across the top. Big G, little g down the side. And then I just pair up these G's to see what all the possible combinations are. I'm going to notice here that all these are going to be green. So they're all green. And half of them are going to be homozygous and dominant, big G. The other half are going to be heterozygous. The final problem says cross a homozygous tall, which will be a big T, with a short Martian, little t. So I draw my Punnett square, big T across the top, little t down the side, and I just simply pair up those letters so that I get all of them are going to be tall, so they're all tall. And they also all have the same genotype, a big T, little t. And hopefully that can be helpful to you.